Hello everyone, welcome to PS Capital Sports' first podcast. Delighted to welcome our first ever guest, Caoimhín Agyarko. Did I pronounce that well? Thank you. Just so everyone knows, I used to pronounce it Caoimhín to his face, and he never kind of said anything about it, so it was quite awkward. But anyway, delighted. I mean, this has been going on now for maybe 15 months. So I'm delighted to be one of your main sponsors on your continued journey. Today, watching you to train was pretty spectacular. I mean, it's fast, powerful, and everyone was speaking so highly about you, which was beautiful to see, and your coaches and stuff. So tell me, where are we today? What's going on? How are you feeling in fight camp, etc.?
Yeah, feeling great. Obviously, we're 19 days out from the fight. I've been out of the ring, as you know, since July. I picked up a little injury in my hand, had surgery in February, and yeah, we're back. So camps went well. Another 2 weeks of hard training, and then you got fight week. So looking forward to being back fighting. Expect this one's going to be a special one as well, back on home soil in Dublin, and an unbelievable card. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
The homecoming. This is your first one in...
I fought in Belfast, my fourth professional fight, but the magnitude of this fight surpasses anything. It's probably be one of the biggest cards that I'll ever be on until I headline my own cards. But yeah, this is the homecoming. It's been, 4 years now since I've fought in home soil, so I'm buzzing for this one. I can't wait.
I mean, you just said there, this is your biggest one, the biggest card that you're ever going to be on. There's some big names on there. But no, this will be the first of many big cards, and hopefully headlining very soon. So let's fast track it. So what's the plan in the next kind of 18 to 24 months?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm ranked number 10 in the world at the moment. I want to pick up a European title probably before the end of the year, if not start of 2024. And then on the world honours, I know in boxing you can't skip levels, you can't just jump straight to the top. So I want to obviously go European level and pass domestic level, and then jump to world level. Still very young, 26. So I've set myself a goal before I turn professional to win a world title before I was 28, or when I'm 28. So I've got 2 years to achieve that goal, and I think in the next kind of 12 to 18 months, that's definitely achievable for me. So I want to be the first Black Irish world champion. I mean, to be an Irish world champion would be a great honour, but I understand that I can create some history in being the first Black Irish world champion, and yeah, that's my goal for the next 18
pressure.
months. No pressure. Pressure's for tires.
I love that. I think, again, what was really interesting today was when it's a humble gym. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was some huge names in there, but what I loved was that there was a team, but it wasn't like that. Not everyone was in your camp. I mean, there's only 3 or 4 people in your camp there today. I just love the camaraderie that everyone had there, and everyone's pulling together, and the kind of banter that you all had. And I guess the kind of humility is what I appreciated so much more. There's no arrogance there. You're incredibly confident with your kind of your skills that you have, and I think that was a beautiful thing for me to see, if I'm really honest. So talk about your kind of preparation before a fight, or the kind of the training camp leading up to it.
Yeah, so camps are normally, I only have a 7-week camp for this one, but camps are normally anywhere between 10 to 12 weeks, 8 weeks sometimes. I'm always in shape, I'm always in the gym whenever I'm not in camp. Boxing's my job, training's my job, so I like to stay in shape. But yeah, basically you start camp kind of 8 to 10 weeks before a fight. So we started sparring 2 weeks ago. Kind of the first 2 weeks of camp is called the shit work graft. It's literally just killing yourself. So my coaches will literally...
Pre-season in football.
Yeah, basically pre-season in football. You're just getting yourself in shape. There is no technical about it. There's nothing technical about it. It's literally just grafting, get the fitness levels up, and then after the 2 weeks, it's just down to the technical side of training, sparring. You got your track work, you've got your intervals on the treadmill and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we've got, like in camp, we've got everything set out perfect, where there's no second guessing. It's planned. Yeah. Everything's planned out, and at the start of camp, we'll go over to the university. Like I was saying today, my strength and conditioning coach, he's one of the main guys in the university, and he'll do all the DEXA scans, testing with us, see what body weight I am, much muscle I've got, much water is in my body, what percent fat, everything like that. And then obviously then that goes to my nutritionist, and he'll plan out then my meals for camp and what calories I'm on and stuff like that. So yeah, everything's went well so far.
I think one of the most interesting things, I remember when Rio Ferdinand was talking about Ronaldo, and he walked into his house and he said to Cristiano, so who are these people, you know? And it was a doctor, a nutritionist, and then they had this massage therapist. I think nowadays with sports, to become the elite level, you really need to do things so methodical in your approach. And even when after I saw you training, you know, you've got your meal prep and you're sitting there getting your fuel back in, and it's, I think that's what's needed nowadays to get to the next level.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I think you can't, especially at the level that I want to be at, and I take professional walking very seriously. Do you know what I mean? It's my job. It's as much as it's a hobby, and I'm lucky to do something that is my hobby. I want to be at the top of the sport and achieve my goals. So you can't really second guess anything to be at the top. Do you know what I mean? You see a lot of fighters or a lot of professional athletes that don't do it properly, and then they have the talent or whatnot, and they don't get to where they should have been because they haven't had the right team around them. So yeah, I've got a great team around me. My coaches, strength coach, nutritionist. I've got my sports masseuse, or like my meal prep company and stuff. So I think it's great to have everybody as a part of my team. You got my sponsors like you. That great to have you come down and watch me train, and then obviously supporting my career. So everyone plays their own part in getting me to the top and being the best athlete that I can possibly be.
It is a journey, and but I want to know, who was your aspirations? You know, what was, I don't know, is it you watched boxing, it was a different sport, and what was for you that something just one day something clicked, or what was it?
I think, like, obviously, I started boxing when I was 7 years old. One of the main people I watched growing up was Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. In sport, I think they would probably be my inspirations in sport, and Floyd Mayweather and stuff. But for me, it's more personal. I think my big brother has always been my biggest inspiration. Just seeing where he's come from in life, and he didn't really have much growing up, and he's now has a successful business in plumbing and heating and stuff like that. So I've always looked to see where he was growing up and not having nothing, and the lifestyle that he had to what he's achieved now, and knowing that with hard work, and no matter what you came from or what you did in school or what it is, that you can achieve great things. So I've always looked to my brother for inspiration, and he's always inspired me. But in the sport more, like I look up to people like Michael Jordan. Do you know what I mean? He's the mindset and drive that he had to achieve what he wanted to achieve. He wasn't just technically good. He was one of the hardest workers you'll ever see. It was that mentality that I won't be denied, and people like him have inspired me to obviously get to this stage of my career.
I think that was really interesting. You talk about Michael Jordan, because Kobe Bryant was, you know, he talked about his schedule, and it was like, I mean, it was wild. It was like a 4 a.m. and then he was in an hour before they had the 2-hour session, and then it was the midday one, and it was pretty much eat, sleep, train, and that's why these people become, you know, the top of the top. And you know, you are young, you know, and boxers can go on to, I think there's some guy still trying to fight at 39. I can't remember the Chinese gentleman against Tyson Fury. He wants to fight against him, but you know, you're 26. So I mean, what is the expectations? I know you're looking to be and then you, but what's the first, is that the real end goal?
Yeah, the first Black Irish world champion. I mean, I've always said that I want to be retired at 32, which is another 6 years. I'm not one of these fighters that want to go on and do it for money. I don't box for money. I do it because I love the sport. It's my passion, and I realise that I've got a talent and I can achieve great things in the sport, and being the first Black Irish world champion. So it's not about the money, and I want to achieve that. And if I get to, like I say, when I'm 28, if I'm a world champion by then, or whatever age it may be, I might look to be a 2-weight world champion, unified, undisputed. But for now, the goal is to be the first Black Irish world champion, and achieve that first. And then I might set myself another goal.
So you're going to be fighting at the 154 roughly.
I fight at 154. This fight's going to be at 160. Obviously, my comeback fight. So we're moving back up to 160 for this one. But I do campaign at 154.
I think I was speaking to your trainers today and your coaches. I think that's what they said, and that was what really stuck with me, was that they were like, he can fight at 2 different weight classes, if not a third one. And I was like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Don't
know about the fight. My coach always said to me, you could, like, you'll wipe out the 154 division and then go up to middleweight and win a world title, and then we'll go back up to super middle. I don't know about super middle, but definitely I believe that I could definitely be a 2-weight world champion. I've got the ability, I've got the talent, and as long as I continue to work hard and push myself every day in the gym, there's no reasons why I can't achieve that.
Who noticed your talent first?
Who noticed my talent first? I would say my amateur coaches, Michael Hawkins and Peter Brady. When I joined the gym at 7 years old, I was always, me and my brother joined, so we got branded as Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. He was naturally gifted, Muhammad Ali, and I was just a brute force. Like Joe Frazier, just loved to tear up, loved to scrap. But there was just something different in me, that I had that desire, that want to win and heart, and that separated me from the rest. And then I always say that I've never gotten to this stage in my career with talent, because I wasn't a talented kid when I stepped through them doors. It's always been hard work, but obviously I've developed that talent over the years, and I've obviously had some sort of skill. But I think my amateur coaches realised how good I was at a young age, and then it was more so I started taking boxing very serious when I was 13, 14, and in the amateurs, the juniors would never train with the seniors throughout the summer, and I pleaded with my amateur coach. I was like, let me train with them, please. And he seen that desire that I wanted to train, I wanted to learn, and he was like, right, okay. And I sparred the seniors and got beat up every single day. But that's got me to this stage of my career. The following year, I was still a novice boxer. Following year, I went to the Worlds and Europeans and represented my country, and then that's whenever my career just took off.
I think fighting against older guys, you're those probably those early bouts and kickings, and that probably made you who you are, or assisted you on your path, But who was your toughest opponent to date?
I don't know in the amateurs, because I had 150 amateur fights. So
yeah, a lot.
It's a lot of fights. I always fighting internationally, like against like Russia or Uzbekistan. I could never beat. I fought Uzbekistan twice, and they beat me on both occasions. Both of them were world champions. But I think in the amateur or in the professional ranks, a guy called Jez Smith in my 7th fight was probably my toughest opponent to date.
Okay, so just a slightly changed subject. Well, not really, but what's your kind of any superstitions or anything goofy?
Yeah.
If you don't want to tell us, you don't need to. But
I kind of try and follow the same routine fight week. I do the exact same thing. I set my when I'm in the change room, I set my stuff out. Like left boot has to go on first. But since I was 14, when I went to Worlds and Europeans, my auntie gave me a holy medal and a prayer, and I used to always put on my boot. And to this day, I still put the holy medal on my boot. So it's been nearly 10 years. So yeah, I always say the exact same prayer and wear the holy medal on my boot. I think that's really, I would say I'm quite a superstitious. I always think of certain things that, like putting a certain glove on first or boot on first and stuff like that, but it's all a mental game, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing with a footballer who definitely wore the same underwear for pretty much about 6 years, and I was like, any chance of changing them? But no. Okay, very good. And what about kind of like balancing your personal life with your boxing? I mean, how's that work?
Yeah, it's obviously very tough. You've got to enjoy your downtime as well, as much as trying to achieve great things and train hard and improving them and whatnot. But I think I've got a great balance. I come to a training camp in Liverpool for kind of 10 to 12 weeks, train hard, kind of take myself away from my friends and family and be disciplined, and there's no distractions for me here. I'm not someone who would easily get distracted, but if they're not there, then you're not going to be distracted. So it's obviously hard taking yourself away from your friends and family and whatnot, but take myself away, and then I've got a balance of, after fighting, I'll go back home to Belfast for 3 to 6 weeks and kind of have some downtime, spend time with my friends, my family, and whatnot, and then straight back to work.
I mean, the key word there is discipline, and it is. I mean, you are what people don't understand is that you're literally moving away from your hometown, another country, and it's in the gym this morning. You know, you're starting at 9:15, but you're in at 8:45. You're prepping, and yeah, you have a bit of banter and stuff like that. But then it's fight mode, and it's training mode, and it's this and that, and it's a huge commitment.
Yeah, it is a huge commitment, and I think to achieve, you have to make them sacrifices in life if you want to achieve what you want to achieve and do great things in life. And for me, it is very mentally tough because I miss birthdays, I miss family occasions, training over Christmas and being away from your friends and family on certain times of the year where you should be spending it with them, but you have to be disciplined and make them sacrifices to achieve what you want to achieve. You don't have a social life as a professional fighter, as a professional athlete. There is no social life, and I think that's the side that nobody really sees. Everyone sees the bright lights and you're in under the spotlight and you're winning, and they think it's all the glamour and gloom, but it's far from it because I live on my own 12 weeks in camp.
Like be lonely for sure.
No friends,
Absolutely.
no family left with you and your thoughts, and obviously your team's like your family as well, but they're on the same page, and obviously it's very tough, but like I said, you have to make them sacrifices to achieve great things.
And I guess on that note, for our kind of young viewers who are aspiring to, whether it's become a professional athlete or a boxer, but what kind of advice would you give them?
I think for me, I would always say, no matter how good you are or what you do, whether it's just a normal job or sports or whatever, always look for ways to improve. Always look for ways to learn. No matter what you know or how good you think you are, there's always somebody better. So look for different techniques, methods to improve yourself. You can be the best fighter or have the fastest hands or be the strongest, but you can always improve. So just always look for ways to improve and always train hard, give 100%.
I think that's what your coaches did say to me as well. They said that you're constantly wanting to learn. I think everyone, whether you're 65 years old or 16, you constantly want to be learning as an individual, which is a beautiful thing. So that's what you tell somebody who's aspiring to be a boxer. What would you tell yourself if you were 16?
What would I tell myself if I was 16? Tough one, you know. I think there's a lot of things I wanted to achieve in the amateurs. I probably could have worked a bit harder. And I think when I turned professional, I always said to myself, if I'm going to do this, I've got to do it properly. And I've always thought that I worked hard until I turned professional. So I'd say kind of if I could go back when I was 16, I would give 100% instead of 80% or 70%. I don't think I'd give it my all. Even though I had a successful amateur career, I definitely should have achieved more than what I did. And I think maybe that was probably a learning curve for me anyway to achieve good things now. So I'd probably say to myself, work harder.
Okay, so let's fast track again. So you say you want to retire at 32, 33, world champion, couple of different divisions. What would Caoimhín at 36, what do you want to say to yourself or have said to yourself, about your career or whatever?
I want to look back with no regrets. Whether I achieve what I want to achieve or not, as long as I give 100% and know that I couldn't have did anything more or anything different to be a world champion. I believe that I will be a world champion. I believe that I'll get to that stage of my career. But when I look back, I want to be like, I live with no regrets. I can be content in retiring and moving on with my life and not thinking back, I could have did this different, I could have did that different. I think living with no regrets and being happy and content.
Interesting. So it's 6 years to the day, and we can noticeably see the scar. I don't really want to bring too much about it, but it's some people won't know. They won't have a clue about your journey, and I think that's one of the things that I love about it. The fact is that you've been through adversity and you've tough upbringing as a kid, And now all of a sudden, you know, you're an amateur boxer. You've boxed 150 plus fights, and then, you know, 6 years ago to this day, you're nearly fatally stabbed. You know, and I don't really want to go on, you know, to talk about it, but I just want to say, like, I think that's an incredible achievement to get to where you are now, 6 years later. You know, you look incredibly healthy. You know, when you're fighting today, and you're training, it was beautiful to see, and I think there was a lot of people around you were really just saying some beautiful things. So PS Capital Sports and myself are genuinely delighted to be a part of your journey. I can't wait to watch in your first fight in the 20th, or our first fight, your 13th, and then being a part of your journey. And then, you know, we thank you very much for giving us the opportunity.
No, thank you. Obviously, like I said, 6 years to the day. Obviously, I always look at back, and I don't think like, oh, I got stabbed, nearly lost my life and whatnot. But I look at it as a blessing. I definitely think it made me a better person, a better athlete, better fighter. Because it gave me that kind of mentality. I've always been strong-headed and level-headed, and always been mentally tough. But I think it gave me, obviously, no one wants to get stabbed. I was an inch from death. No one wants to get stabbed. But looking back on it now, I think after that, it meant my mental mindset was just on a different level, because, like, I always talk about giving your all and trying to achieve great things. And for me, it was like, that was something that I would have never have pictured happen to me. A week before getting stabbed, I was in Paris and I just won a multi-nation tournament. Come home, was meant to fight a week after against America, and obviously I got stabbed and nearly lost my life. So I live, like I said, I live with no regrets, and now it's like shoot for the stars and give everything day in, day out, because you don't know what can happen. You don't know when your last minute on this earth is. And I always, like I said, I look at it as a blessing. It's made me a better person, and I don't really look at yeah, in that time, it was one of the hardest things I ever went through. I literally hit rock bottom and went through mental health issues and whatnot, but it's made me the person I am today, and I'm a better person for it. So obviously to be on the first podcast with you guys on that Remembrance Day, for me, it's special, and this is the start of a special journey. It's amazing to have you as a part of my team and support me, and just a kid from Belfast that's trying to achieve great things. So to have use on my team and support me and follow my journey, it's amazing.
No, I love that. Well, again, well, thank you very, very much. Can't wait to see you on the 20th with our team. And, you know, this is the start, like you said, of a beautiful journey. And that's about it. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much.